what I would like to know is from you as a practicing architects, you usually work to the brief of a client and it is to create a living space. Yeah, and usually the living space is to see how you meet their wants. And here we are in a city which is meant to serve not the wants but only to give you according to your needs. And then the project like Golconda comes to my mind. It's a very small project, but then we have a city with almost same aspiration, but then we have at everything large scale. So how do you, so it's not just architectural challenge, it's a town planning challenge. So how do you plan a town for willing servitors, not just citizens in that sense?
Both these points, cost. So when we see 30 square meters, it's not about whether we afford 30 square meters, somebody does, and somebody affords 120 square meters. It's about what do we afford as a city collectively. Mm-hmm. So the number stems not from the fact of what individuals or a group of people can afford. It's what a city can afford as footprint on ground. Okay, and that has been rationalized to a number which from certain standards in Indian cities and in African cities would be luxury, and for certain cities elsewhere in Gurgaon and same countries would be also considered pits. It's stifling. 30 square meters per person, why? So it's not about monies. It's about what the land affords. Mm-hmm. And we as a city can sustainably build, maintain, and continue to thrive in. So that's the number that we need to hold together. And that's about collective living. Right? So now coming to that point about monies. There was a time when some sadhaks wrote to Sri Aurobindo saying that mother is wearing these gold embroidered saris. And how can God be so ostentatious? And the answer to that from Sri Aurobindo was, whoever said that gods can't be wearing any riches? Look at all the images of Indian gods and goddesses and they're all decked with gold. Yeah. Right? So this whole aspect that somewhere we were taught that if you are godly, you have to be in tatters, is a basic premise that Sri Aurobindo and Mother have demolished right in the beginning. Right in the beginning of their, discourse, they're demolishing this whole idea that we should count frugality or poverty to be godly.
Right.
No, absolutely not. It has never been in our spiritual thought, and it should not also be today, even as we build Golconda. So these words are used very loosely, right? And I can say very confidently that when people saw curves in the design of Kalpana, they said it was luxury. Okay, now what is luxurious about Kalpana housing? Have we cared to look at the numbers? No. Neither the costs nor the areas, but we looked at a form and said this form seems luxurious. It's as if this building, just because it's circular, would have costed more than a square building, is a notion that we carry, which is absolutely wrong. Which is absolutely wrong. It has no basis at all in science, in maths, in architecture, in engineering. Okay, it's the volume of space covered using a certain volume of material in a particular shape and form, which caters to a certain need. Now, Mother's already opened up the Pandora's box by saying, new forms for new consciousness. How are we supposed to achieve that? So now, when Mother was building Golconda, the same question had come. You have not enough monies to feed all the ashramites properly. Why are you building Golconda? Right? So she answers that the money for Golconda is coming separate. It's a donation from somebody, from Golconda. whose son or nephew happened to be here in the ashram, and he had underwritten the building. But why build something like that when you don't have monies to run the ashram properly? So mother said, I've established these various departments, and there is embroidery department, marbling department, the dining room, so many different units. And 4, 5 of you, 6 of you, 10 of you work together in those departments. After some time, you get used to each other. So next time we are meeting, we'll know, acha, Neel will be shaking his left hand when he talks. He will have his leg crossed like that. She will be sitting this way, or she would prefer this chair, so I'll come and sit here. So you get used to each other, and you stop growing. So I'm building Golconda because on a construction site, you cannot relax. If 1 million bricks have to be moved on top, the force of the construction makes people, collaborate, do something more than they ever thought they imagined, and they start collaborating and building together. She says, in the line that I can quote really is, I'm putting a lot more people through yoga by building Golconda. Who were the workers? People who had never worked in concrete. Who were the architects? Imports. People had come. So there was one site architect who was appointed there. So the study of Golconda is very, very important, perhaps, and today critical.
Yeah.
I think to understand why mother would have gone ahead and said, let's now build a city. It is to put perhaps even more people through yoga. So we are not here building Auroville. Actually, the building of Auroville is the building of us. Is something that I, in my own words and in my own mind, have
clarity about
that. I'm here getting built. As we build this magnificent city, all that will demand out of us is the building of Auroville.